What's your favourite area in Final Fantasy? There's a good chance it might be somewhere off the beaten track, as each vast world is full of beautiful regions you don't have to visit. Whether your interest lies in exploring ruins, deep in the forests, or somewhere more peaceful, there's something for everyone out there. I'm Jack from EXP Required, and today I'll be taking a look at 7 more optional locations across Final Fantasy. Beware of spoilers for the following games. Not a lot is known about the mysterious southern continent in FF8, or the civilization that once lived there, beyond their name, and the fact they were destroyed by the last lunar cry. The Centra Ruins are found on the northernmost archipelago, the only thing worth visiting in an otherwise desolate landscape. Whoever the Centrans were, they built things to last, and the octahedral frame tells us that like the rest of the world, they too had some innate obsession with the number 8. A timer starts ticking down the moment you enter, and though there's no guidance on where to go, you at least know who you're dealing with. After climbing endless stairs and ladders, and fondling some statues along the way, you're allowed to enter the throne room and do battle. You'd be forgiven for wanting to obliterate Odin as quickly as possible, especially if you don't have a lot of time left, but it's worth taking as many triple spells from this living legend as you can. Just don't forget to deal enough damage before the clock hits 0. Odin's challenge is worth the price of admission alone, but there's an extra blade that can be added to your repertoire here. Beat enough Tomberries, a tall order in itself, and their king will seek revenge. Winning this match gives you access to the ruins' true treasure, Tomberry's secret shopping techniques. A small village southwest of Saronia, FF3's Falgabard is hiding a dark secret. No, not the Dark Knight, don't be silly. Only accessible once the party has gained access to the mountain-hopping Invincible. The town itself is initially beyond notice. The stores sell items that benefit only a couple of classes, and its other claim to fame being the most expensive inn in the world. You want how much for a quick snooze? Guess they had to find some way of turning a profit. Getting ripped off isn't the only thing to do here, however. Go exploring, and you'll find a small cave behind the town's waterfall. One man lives here in isolation, and the reason why becomes immediately obvious when you try talking to him. Once bested, the shinobi gives you the legendary Kiku Ichimonji blade that both ninja and dark knights can use. A welcome gift when there's a whole other cavern to investigate, with almost everything the town is selling stuffed into chests. But of course, there's a catch. Monsters in the cave multiply when dealt a non-fatal hit, meaning that the only way to truly best these foes is by using Dark Knight abilities. Though it is tempting to write Falgabard off as exhausted after taking these treasures for yourself, the 3D version has an extra reward waiting for you here, so long as you find the right item first. Okay, technically you do need to enter the Shinra Mansion once or twice, but never as Cloud, so we say it counts on this list. Despite the fact this place is featured in almost everything with an FF7 label on it, the only time you ever have to step foot in the mansion is during the Calm flashback, when we learn about Sephiroth's descent into madness. Upon our return to Nibelheim later on, we can run right by it with no penalty, but we reckon most people will want to see the state of it in the present day. Everything of worth is locked up tight inside, so the first order of business is to suss out where the keys are, also locked up. Hints to the safer hidden around the mansion, with weird monsters getting in your way at every turn, including the Jersey, from whom you can learn the enemy skill. Wait, how do you say that out loud? Once you get the code, the pressure's on not to overshoot the numbers while dealing with a time limit. Inside is the key, the Odin materia, wait, this looks familiar, Red 13's final limit break, and a monster that's cranky from being shoved in a box. Formidable at lower levels, Lost Number changes its defenses depending on whether you pelt it with physical or magical attacks. No button mashing your way through this guy. Once all that's dealt with, you're finally able to open the basement where Ultimate Dreamboat Vampire Vincent is waiting to join you. And don't forget to have a quick catch up with Sephiroth before you leave. First occurring in FF2 with Leviathan, and later revived in FF10 when Sin swallows us. Going into the belly of some kind of beast isn't exactly an isolated incident for Final Fantasy protagonists. A totally optional sequence. FF6 introduces the Zone Eater on the creatively named Triangle Island. A giant worm that can't kill anyone in the party outright. It does, however, have the ability to remove characters from battle by swallowing them whole. Let the whole team get eaten, and its true nature as a short dungeon is revealed. Quite possibly the quirkiest location in the game, we think it's fitting the quirkiest character can be found here. Gogo the Mime's very design seems to incorporate everyone else's clothing in some way, and it doesn't take much convincing to have them along for the ride. Whilst not the strongest fighter around, Gogo's real power lies in the art of imitation. They can copy almost everything other characters do in battle, without the need of MP or lifelong dedication to physical training. Ever fancy raining down hell repeatedly on those who wronged you? We sure have! The real question is how long Gogo's been trapped in the Zone Eater, and if anyone else was ever with them. The Mime's keeping mum, but we certainly have our own suspicions. With how many areas you can enter the Zertinan Caverns from, it's certainly a surprise to find out you never have to step foot in them at all. A sprawling maze of tunnels spread across continents. Would-be explorers would do well to steer clear until later levels, or fall victim to the monsters within. While you don't need to pass through as part of the main story, players clearing out the hunt log will find themselves here sooner or later, and those willing to delve a little deeper will find the best reward of all: another Esper to bolster your ranks. Returning after its first appearance in Final Fantasy Tactics, a Dramalek is a flying goat-like creature surrounded by the undead that will demolish any low-level adventurers. Only ranged attacks work against this bizarre beast, and if that wasn't painful enough, it resists or absorbs every element except ice, so it's worth waiting until you can cast Blizzaga before trying to take it down. The unprepared will find themselves struggling, even if they're able to hit it. Once a Dramalek's HP goes critical, it casts Thundarja in an attempt to obliterate the party. The best idea is to find yourself a diamond armlet or two, one of which can be found in the Caverns Sandfalls, but good luck getting there before being killed. First seen on Galuf's world, the Phoenix Tower is inaccessible until the two worlds merge, and even then you still need a black chocobo to get there. Climbing all 30 floors of the tower leads the Light Warriors through a gauntlet of monsters they can't escape from, most of which will blast the party with status ailments. Surviving these battles rewards you with decent EXP, but even better is what awaits you every 5 floors. The friendly magic pots will grant you a whopping 100 ABP per encounter, so long as you have what they're asking for. Hope you haven't been using your elixirs, and if you have, I hope you have the money for more. While not much is known about the Phoenix Tower, it was obviously built before the world was split. Even the inhabitants of the Phantom Village are aware of it, and their knowledge extends to just what kind of creatures can be reborn as one of these mythical birds. In true FF5 fashion, history repeats itself again as Lena's beloved pet Hiryu sacrifices himself for her. This heroic deed allows us to see arguably the coolest looking summon in the whole game, and lets us revive fallen party members while still dealing damage. The only question is, without the Windrake, how are we going to get down from here? A largely linear experience. There aren't many places off the beaten track in FF10, but all of them have something worth visiting for. One secret location you can't stumble across by accident is the Omega Ruins, which requires you to search for the coordinates before being able to land there. A nest of hateful, relentless creatures. Every encounter here can spell doom if you aren't prepared. First strike and stoneproof weapons are a must, but even these alone won't save you, especially not from the Grand Mulborough. Hey, at least in here we're safe from Tomberries. Oh Yevon, no! The rewards are well worth it though. A minigame involving chests will give you all the warp spheres you'll need to master the sphere grid if played right, which will make the final bosses that much easier. Once a monk of Yevon who went against the temple's teachings, Omega was transformed by hatred into the fearsome Omega weapon, long before we set foot in Spira. Fighting him is the ultimate challenge, as he has access to several brutal attacks that will do thousands of points of damage to the whole party, while boasting plenty of HP for himself. It's easy to see Omega's path as a possible end to our story, since we've already opposed Yevon, but if you're able to beat this super boss, there's no way you don't have the will to fight your sorrow. So that was it for our second list featuring optional locations in Final Fantasy. Let us know your favourites in the comments below. If you'd like to hear more Final Fantasy discussion, we also have a podcast link below. Thanks for watching and see you next time!